22-year-old female working as a data analyst. To be honest, 9 to 5 has never stood out to me as I've always seen my dad preaching financial freedom and entrepreneurship. Go Dad. Absolutely. I believe in working hard towards something in the short term to reap in benefits in the long term. So far, so good. It's been very tough for me to stay in one spot. My mind is always wandering and never really stops. I feel like I can never fully commit myself to a company since I'll never be satisfied with the pay and also won't see any advantage in it for me. You're every entrepreneur in the world. Uh-huh. Every entrepreneur is only an entrepreneur because they didn't want to work at a company. Yeah. They don't want to abide by the rules at the company.
Yeah. I did it because I wanted the most horrible boss in the world, and I couldn't find anybody worse than me. So I was
yeah, of course. Of course. Everyone around me seems happy with their 9 to 5 and wants to continue to do so for the next 10 years. I feel like I'm making a massive jump by wanting to start now. I have great support from my dad financially. He'll also encourage me to try out anything new and make a step toward entrepreneurship. Just seeing corporate suck-ups on LinkedIn makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing. Is validation on LinkedIn that important? Is it really worth working 9 to 5 for $70K a year? No. Sorry, I threw that last no in. Am I overconfident or do I have the mindset of an entrepreneur? Oh, without question, you have the mindset of an entrepreneur. 100%. I mean, honestly, it's what we do. That's the point of doing what we do.
Go ahead. What's the last part of that?
Sure. I've got brilliant ideas, but then I start thinking that if the idea is so good, why hasn't someone else already thought of it and executed it? If it's so easy, then why isn't everyone else doing it? Am I being stupid by asking being so risk-taking? Any advice or words of motivation would be appreciated.
So there is actually a statistic out there that states that 79% of people would like to work for themselves.
Right.
And it's only like something like 3% that actually go out and do it.
Yeah. It is a risk, and you have to be willing to take that risk. And you have to be ready to fail.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be ready to lose everything. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Been there,
especially
done
at 22.
Yeah, been there, done that.
You're going to lose 3 or 4 times at 22 before you're in your 30s. Yeah. That's great. It's the best education in the world.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe not. Maybe you don't lose. Maybe you succeed. But now, look, 22 years old. You have all the energy in the world. Mm-hmm. You have Dad backing you up, not just motivationally, but financially. It sounds like Dad knows what he's talking about too, right? Mm-hmm. You obviously have an idea for a product or a service. You didn't describe what it is, and that's okay, right? Something you want to do. What more do you need? Go do it.
100%.
Right?
100%.
Go do it. Go find the people that are going to help you. Go find not necessarily employees, but like
a support system.
Right, a support system. Go network. Go find people that you need. You're going to need bankers. You're going to need this. You're going to need that. Go find those people. Mm-hmm. Those people will be there when you need them. Some of them you have to pay right away. Some of them you pay later on. Either way, but you have that support system in place. Go learn business. Business is not I have a product. Business is there's a product that I'm going to build my business on top of, right? It's never just there's this product and I'm going to go make money. It doesn't work like that.
You can have the greatest. It's not Field of Dreams, right?
Yeah, exactly. I saw can't remember who the interviewer was, but they were talking with this guy whose IQ was like 195 or something like that. Brilliant guy, right? Supposed to be one of the smartest men in the world as far as IQ goes. And the question was, why does everybody always think that you should be a millionaire or a billionaire with an IQ of 195, right? And he apparently he has a 9 to 5 like everybody else, like a lot of people do, and but he has this. He says, and he said the right thing is because making money is not about a business or something like that. It's about your connections and who you know. That's how you make money.
Yep.
Right? You start making connections, you start networking, and that's where you grow. He says, I just never had interest in that.
It's sales.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
No, but that's what it is.
No, I'm kidding.
but it's the relationships. It's the being willing to do that aspect of the business is what drives most businesses forward, right? And let's take you're an HVAC tech. Right, and you're really good at repairing HVAC systems. Doesn't mean you're going to build an HVAC empire, right? You can go out, get clients, you can get busy. Now, who do you hire in next? Do you hire in another tech so you can focus on the sales? Or do you hire a sales guy so you can focus on what you're really good at?
Right.
Right, and most entrepreneurs pick, I'm going to stick with the sales and hire another tech. And then they don't understand why their reputation went downhill because things aren't being repaired properly.
Right.
I've always argued is if you're really, really, really good at something, hire in someone at the level that you're not good at.
Right.
Right. And that's really the best way to do it. And those are things you have to go learn as an entrepreneur. That's like, and just because you thought of a product and it doesn't exist doesn't mean it's a bad idea.
Right.
Like if you would have told someone 30 years ago, hey, I'm going to build this like online thing where people can register and overshare information with their family, and not really know who's seeing it, right, and just randomly putting it out there, and like, I don't know, maybe post baby pictures and remind people about a birthday party.
What does that remind you of?
You would have been like,
what a great idea.
No,
you would have been like, that's silly. It's stupid.
Correct.
Everyone's a naysayer, aren't they? Everyone's a naysayer.
Correct. And it's just funny. Like, and there's business after business after business that, like, if someone would have told you, I always remember, what was it, on 60 Minutes, ABC News, where someone had to explain to them what email was. And you can find this clip everywhere. Like, it's on YouTube, it's everywhere. Like, news anchor being, like, explaining what email is. And this is back in, like, AOL days.
Right, of course.
Stuff. But it's hysterical.
That guy just died, by the way. Did you hear that?
Oh, no.
Yeah, the guy, the voice of You Got Mail.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he just passed.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Anyway.
But yeah, everybody, and we were told, well, email will never work, right? Like, because you can't send certified letters via email. You can't, but email took over what?
FedEx wasn't supposed to work.
Correct. There were so many things that never should have worked.
Yeah.
That did. Fidget spinners.
The story behind that kills me.
But still, like, if you would have told someone, hey, I'm going to take this thing and I'm going to put a wheel in the middle so it balances so someone can sit there and slap it, you would have been like, what? You're going to do what?
Well, I think that's exactly what happened, because the lady who came up with it in the 90s and patented it in the 90s, and it never sold. No one wanted to make it. And then once the patent expired,
they started making it.
Huge. Yeah. Once the patent expired.
It's like those stupid, I see my kids with those like silicone poppets.
Yeah.
Like if you would have told someone that idea, hey, I'm going to make this silicone thing with bubbles so people can sit and push it and then turn it around and push it again. You would have been like,
I'll give you the biggest naysayer example of them all is Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah.
Go look at the comments in 2011 and 2012 about Bitcoin and what all the experts were saying about it, and it's a terrible, it's never going to make any money. We're crossing $90,000 per coin today.
I know.
90,000.
Electric cars.
Oh my God, another one.
Right? Like it's
never going to work. The infrastructure can't handle it, which is true right now.
Right now, right? Like it's the right now.
Right.
It's and there have been products, like I always said, like if you look at social networks, like we had this conversation, Vine was just way.
We talked about this.
They were way ahead of their time.
They were ahead
right?
of their time.
So it was a great idea, and at the wrong time.
Yeah.
So part of you having a great idea and nobody's done it yet is just because maybe it hasn't been the right time for that idea. If I would have told you 5 years ago, oh, I think someone should make an app where you can take a photo of your fridge and get a recipe, you would have been like, well, it's kind of a brilliant idea, but why hasn't someone done it?
Yeah.
Well, because we didn't have the AI technology
to do it.
to do it at that time, right? Like, so it could have been a brilliant idea at the wrong time.
Right.
And same thing, it's just a matter of don't underestimate the power of any idea until you actually test it.
Yep.
And we've talked about before, same thing with like the Cybertruck concept is how many people can we get to put a deposit on a Cybertruck?
Right.
Once you see people are willing to put a deposit on something that doesn't exist yet, probably have something there.
So there's more to it than that. So, who was I think it was a Musk interview. It was either Musk or one of his co-founders at Tesla. Can't remember, but they had asked people before they even had the car, the Model S ready, before they even had it built. They had asked for two types of deposit, a $5,000 deposit and a $40,000 deposit. If you put the $40,000 down, you get one of the first 100 cars. And if you put the $5,000 deposit down, you would get, the cars they were made. And they sold out.
Yeah.
Before even making the first car.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So there's a guy online. He's basically a software developer. and they have a big software company, and that's how they test whether or not they should get into a new market. Yeah. Is they literally send out an email to all their current customers saying, hey, we're thinking about doing this. If you want to get on the wait list, it's $100 deposit. And if they don't get enough deposits, they never develop it and just send the money back.
Right.
But that's how they validate whether an idea is actually going to be worth money. Because an idea can be great, but it doesn't mean it's worth money.
That's what Kickstarter is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same concept.
Right.
It's all based on the same concept. Is see if you can separate people from their money, you probably have an idea.
Yeah, you have an idea that they're exactly
that can be profitable. Yeah.
So repulsive virus. Your idea is not repulsive at all.
No.
I love it. That's go do it.
Go do it.
Have you done it yet? Go. What are you waiting for? Yeah. Don't work the 9 to 5.
That was 14 hours ago.
Yeah, it was 14 hours ago.
She could already be up and running.
She already have her product out there. Who the heck knows? But no, the 9 to 5 will drain you. It'll drain you for the rest of your life. And I'll be honest. I tell my employees this, right? I tell my employees, like, look, you're not going to be here for 10 years. You're not going to be here probably for 5 years, right? Although a couple of them have now, crazy. But like, you're not even going to be here for that long. Your goal should be to, you're going to want to grow in your career, whether it's somewhere else or starting for yourself. But there's no more of that. I'm going to be at a company for 20, 30 years. That doesn't happen. Nope. and it's either both sides. Either you're leaving because you want a better job somewhere else, or they're letting you go because, the numbers don't add up on a spreadsheet somewhere.
Correct.
And it's a shame. But the reality is the only way to secure your finances is to do it on your own.
Yep.
And even then, you can't really secure, but you can secure much better because no matter how good you are at your job, no matter how long you've been at your employer, they can let you go at any moment.
And I need to bring up, there is a happy medium for those that aren't quite gung-ho and don't have these systems in place.
Yeah, gigs.
No, franchising. Yeah. No. They are.
I was hoping to go at least one episode without bringing up franchises.
No, franchising, we didn't bring it up last episode.
Okay.
But if you think of it as
I'm getting a bell. Hold on. I'm getting a bell. And every time you say franchise,
you're going to bring it. No, but that's the thing to me is risk is a scale, right? It is you are 100% out there willing to take every risk, and you are 0%.
I'm listening. I'm just going on Amazon and ordering a bell.
I'm not willing to take any risk at all, right? So on the 100% end is I'm going to take all my life savings, dump everything into this, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I will have lost everything, right? On the other side of it is I will never leave my 9 to 5 because I'm too afraid of any risk, and I want to know that I have a paycheck coming every month. On that spectrum, you have things like MLMs, right? Like multi-level marketing companies. Yep. You have franchises. You have licensing, like you could license someone else's. I think, what is it? Is H&R Block that license?
I'm not.
Or are they franchise model?
I don't know.
Right, but you have this entire scale, and right now I'm talking to the 93% or 79%, whatever it is, that want to work for themselves but don't have the risk tolerance. Is that there are things in between that can lower, that are closer to the 0 risk tolerance than the 100% risk tolerance, right? Because the reality is, if you buy a Subway franchise, you have like a 91% chance of making it.
Right.
Versus if you go out and open your own restaurant, you have an 84% chance of failing.
Right.
Right. So like that's what I'm saying. Like it's a risk tolerance thing, and sometimes if you aren't very tolerant to risk, there are still other options where you end up being your own boss.
So it depends on the franchise. Correct. Obviously, right? You got to be careful of the rules because there are certain franchises that own you, and there are other ones that are like, go do your thing.
Correct.
So you got to make sure what your, not just your risk level, but what your tolerance level is for, having the man on your back, so to speak. And a lot of times that's why people get out of their 9 to 5 is so that someone isn't always on their back. Yep. And then I can see them going into a franchise situation without doing their research. And it's just, even though you own it, someone's on your back again.
Yeah, but people do the same thing with when they start their own businesses, right? And there's also, we also have the group of people that need the accountability.
Sure.
Right? Like, they need the monthly report from the franchisor going, hey, your location is underperforming again, right? And it doesn't mean that that person isn't suitable to be their own boss. It just means they need someone to nudge them every once in a while. And there's nothing wrong with it. But that's why, like, whenever it comes to business and I'm talking to someone, like, the first thing I want to know is, what's your risk tolerance? Because that's going to determine, first of all, what type of business you get in.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have a high risk tolerance, don't open a restaurant.
Oh, no.
Right?
Like, in fact, you know what? Still open a restaurant.
In a major city, if you live in New York City and you think it's a great idea to go open a restaurant, it's horrendous. If you are in the middle of nowhere and there are no restaurants in a 10-mile radius,
maybe then, yeah.
That might actually be a good idea to open a restaurant, right?
Have you met someone who's been successful in the restaurant industry?
Yeah.
Have you?
Multiple people. But
okay.
That's also my background. So
that's true.
I talk to a lot of
I know quite a few
restaurateurs.
people that open restaurants, and there are some people that definitely made some money and got out.
I failed at it.
But I don't know anyone that like hit it big in restaurants. And we're talking about probably at least 8 or 9 people I know that opened restaurants.
I can tell you the second wealthiest person I ever met is in the restaurant business, but it's what we were talking about, where she owns like 7 McDonald's.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense. I'm talking about someone who opened up their own restaurant.
Yeah, not that started from scratch with their own restaurant. I mean, I know a couple, but it's also because they were in a niche market, high-end market. Right. They understood it. A buddy of mine, he interned and worked at like Michelin star restaurants. Like, he did it right because he became a celebrity. Yeah. So people wanted to eat there. Like, I jokingly told him, like, you could serve dog shit cookies and people would still be like, oh, these are the best dog shit cookies I've ever had, right? But he didn't build it just as now, don't get me wrong, his food is phenomenal, but it's the personality of him that goes with the food and in the restaurant. Like, he's like a Gordon Ramsay type.
Oh, well, there you go.
Right,
yeah,
like,
it's a very different thing.
Jean-Pierre White. Okay. Like, so he had every opportunity. He also was really good about, like, he would go out and cook at festivals and he would go on television and, like, he became like a celebrity chef, right? So extremely successful. And I know a couple of those guys, but as a whole, 90% of the people I know that went into the restaurant industry are out and lost money.
So you mentioned Michelin star restaurants.
Yes.
Do you know the origin of the Michelin stars?
I do.
You do?
I
do.
Tell
the story. I love this story. This is fantastic. This is, you know, I think it was France, right?
No, it started in the US.
Was it here? Was it the US?
Yeah.
Okay. This is quintessential American. This is such capitalism.
How far back do you want to, like?
Go back to why they started it.
Okay. So Michelin, as we all know, was a tire company.
Yes.
And they weren't selling enough tires, so they needed to figure out a way how to get people to drive more. So what they would do is they would literally leave the cities and go find these restaurants out in the country and then give them a Michelin star rating to encourage people to drive there and go try them. So they literally...
So they would sell more tires. Correct. I love it.
Right? And, I mean, most people don't know the origin of the story, but
I have no clue.
I'm like, talk about like marketing genius. Oh. It's like, they're not using our product enough. How do we get them to use it more? Yeah. It's like that story of the carpenter that increased Colgate sales, right? He had a contract with them, said, if I can increase your sales, I get an X cut of that. And what did he say? Increase the hole on the tube by 1 millimeter, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, because
it was too small. Right.
The exponential flow.
It would,
was drastic.
People would use what we call, the bigger the circle, the more.
Correct.
Yeah.
And people don't realize, like, if you have a 1/4 inch versus a 1/2 inch, that is not a doubling. That's not double. That's a quadrupling.
It's 4 times.
Yes. Yeah. So by just making the hole slightly bigger,
more toothpaste is coming out, and
it's brilliant, right? And then you go, well, back to this lady. Why didn't someone think of that? I don't know. Why didn't they?
Yeah.
Because it's a brilliant idea, but nobody executed on it.
Exactly. So find your Michelin star.
Yeah.
Go find your Michelin star. Yeah, most people just think, oh, it's a Michelin star restaurant, but they never thought about why is it a Michelin star? What's it have to do with tires? And
right.
People don't associate the two companies. But
yeah, it's
I love that story. I'm so glad you knew that. Oh, I love that story. All right.
I used to be in the restaurant industry, and now I'm in marketing.
No, I keep forgetting about that. All right, Repulsive Virus, best of luck to you. Let us know what you're doing. Put something in the comments if you
this is awesome.
This. Let us know how it's going. If you like what you saw in the clips, don't forget to subscribe as well. Let us know what you think by leaving some information in the comments.